Welcome to another episode of the No Dress Code Pod. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're listening, please review, like, comment, subscribe. Please follow the No Dress Code Pod on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, No Dress Code Pod. I am your host. We're still trying to figure out a name. Okay, so did you want to introduce yourself or?
My name is Crystal. I am a wife of almost 6 years. I have a daughter. She's 4 years old. A really smart, bright little girl. And I've been working for the same company for 22 years for the city of Long Beach. And I also am a part-time real estate agent. So that's kind of one of my passions, putting people into homes and home ownership and just ownership period, actually. I also went to school for teaching, so I do have a love of teaching. And I love to travel. I love to eat, learning how to cook still after all this time. I'm 43, so I'm a little older mom, but that's been a plus as well, not just a negative. But I enjoy life. I enjoy my spirituality. I love my friends and my family.
Want to include your social media so that people know how to find you?
Crystal Allen DeWay. So that's KrystalAllen, Allen DeWay, DWEH. And on there you can find my contact telephone number, some of my posts, and then my baby girl, she's on there as well. So gone to school, have an undergrad in Spanish with a minor in humanities and a little bit of my teaching credentials, because ultimately that's what I wanted to become, was a teacher. I'm really shy. I already told you that.
You're still a little reserved.
See, I'm one of those. I'm telling you, I am shy. I do not get in front of the camera.
We do have a couple of questions for you.
Who is we?
Be my producer.
Okay.
This is
making sure.
Yeah, this is not a one-man team over here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I'll have to get her too, or him.
Yeah. We got a little help over here. A one-man show.
And woman show.
Okay, whatever. Tomato. So how long have you been married?
I have been married for almost 6 years. This November, it will make 6 years.
How's marriage?
Marriage is a lot of work. I will say that, especially when you bring in a little one. I'm sure she's 4, so my daughter's 4. So a lot of our energy is poured into her. But marriage, it can be fun. Started off really fun, but also challenging. So I'll just say that.
You might want to drink up. This is just the tip of the iceberg. You might want to drink up to be as comfortable as possible.
I don't think that's going to happen. I'm like your last and first guest. I should have had an alias. He had a nice speaking voice, though.
How does it feel to be my second guest?
I'm actually honored, even though I'm, don't want to do it, but...
I don't want to do it.
I mean, that you even thought of me. I know this has been a process, for you. I guess it's nice to be thought of, to be that interesting, to even be to be a guest. I don't know.
Are you excited?
No, I'm not.
Are you scared?
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
Yeah, I'm really scared. I do believe in, vulnerability, different things like that, but I don't know. I don't even have my own podcast. I don't post anything. I've never, but I do listen to a lot of different podcasts.
I do want to advise, though, with us believing in transparency, that I am still 75% delusional. But other than that is included in my transparency. That I'm delusional.
And there's nothing wrong with transparency. I just believe that, sometimes the platforms or the sound bites, they can kind of get out of hand. And being a shy person, that's just how I always felt. People kind of took that like, oh, you're secretive. No, not at all, sweetie. I just really feel like, my personal life is my personal life, and I've seen other people get theirs taken out of context and exposed for no reason. So I just, a little bit more reserved in that area. That
I'm kind of shy.
kind of. Yeah, but you're a different kind of shy. But I don't know what exactly, but I know you're different from the way that I am, but
Because Ivan told me I was timid. And at first I took it as a compliment. But then
I'm not timid. So yeah, you're right. But it doesn't mean it, if people perceive you that way, but yeah, I'm not timid. I am shy, but far from timid.
where did you and your husband meet?
Well, actually, according to him, we met in 2013 at a repass. Is that what they call it? Where you eat after someone passes, a mutual friend. That was in 2013.
Yeah,
but
girl.
I officially met him in April of 2016 at a retirement party that I was helping my friend with.
Y'all deal with a lot of old people.
What?
Y'all just giving off I deal with a lot of old people. 2013 at a repass, and yes, that is what it's called. Then what you said, 2016, 2017 at a funeral?
At a retirement
That's
party.
the same thing.
Honestly, yeah, I do. I've always had a lot of mature friends, and I learned a lot from them. So yeah, you're right about that.
Because you mentioned you had a 4-year-old.
Yes.
I don't like how you didn't give enough praise to the 4-year-old, but
Geriatric mom, so I got to keep up with her versus it being the other way.
okay. Did you always want kids?
That changed over the years. I didn't. Yeah, when I was younger, I used to play with my brother and sister, and I'm like, oh, this would be fun having kids in the home and full of laughter and all that. But coming of age, college, meeting people, dating, it really faded away quickly for a good 10 plus years. So no, I would say for the better part of my adulthood, no, I did not always want children. I like sleeping and I like eating, and with kids, you kind of hard to do both. So
what changed?
when I think hard about it, aside from having to basically be married to have children or do anything else for that matter, I started listening to other women about their experiences of being moms. And then after I met my spouse, my husband, that was like, hey, we can do this and we're going to do this and have fun doing this. So it was a few things that kind of helped me make that decision. But mostly kind of, listening to the positive stories that women had about giving birth and raising children and just being able to pour into some. I was pouring into a lot of children that weren't mine. I'm like, hey, what's my return? I don't get a return on my investment, but
Yeah, do you get a return on your investment now, or?
well, I think about me taking care of my mom when she was sick and dying, or just not even just sick and dying, just during her life when I became able to help take care of her, and then just being her friend, going places with her. So it's a different return. I don't know what the return is going to be. That's to be determined, but yeah, I do feel like they do offer companionship and different things that other people can't really offer. So while I was off jet setting and traveling and all that when I was single, now it's a whole different life, and I spent a lot of downtime here getting her to get in the car.
So, do you want any more kids?
No. 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 It is weird, really weird though, because you do, as a mom, you do want and wish that they did have siblings. It's kind of one of those, it's kind of sad, but I was just actually telling my sister when I was driving here, her cousin just came over, right? Actually, right before I came here. And she wants a sibling so bad. But cousins, they're, so she was like, hi, sister, cousin. And then her cousin was like, I'm not your sister, I'm your cousin. I can't interject. I mean, that's what she really is, just her cousin. And then my daughter just kind of smiled, but I didn't, I couldn't comfort her or anything because she wasn't crying or anything. But so I know that she really does want a sibling, but that's not going to happen. I'm actually, like I said, I'm 43. And then realistically, I had surgery last year for a hysterectomy. So I can't have any. But even before, I didn't. I'm not really sure that I wanted any more. Did discuss too before we got married. So, I can't take that away from my spouse that we did discuss that. But I don't know. Sometimes things just don't pan out that way. the way that you envision. So
has having a child changed you?
Well, it changed obviously what I do. So a part of the things that I did enjoy in life, yeah, I do have to kind of take more of a back seat to them. I'm natural introvert, so I like to, just read to myself. I like to swim. I like the beach. A lot of the novels that I want to get to, a lot of the different things, they turn into podcasts because I'm just like, before I go to bed, I'll lay down and listen instead of actually being able to sit in my chair or a chair, because I don't even have a chair, and just read. I just changed course. I just pivoted. That's all. So it's not a bad thing. Sometimes it is a lot of work, but yeah, so I don't think it changed me for the negative. Like, I don't have more bad days than, good days. I have a lot of good days, and I, try to teach her the same.
That's one of the reasons why I don't have kids yet.
I don't blame you.
I'm not really ready to give up.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not really ready to give up on the things that I truly enjoy yet.
No, you're not. I heard your last podcast, and no, you're not. Because you're right. They will take your last bite.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God. On top of me not liking to share my food, if you come for the last bite, oh, baby, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Yeah. I want to fight you so bad. It's a wrap.
And it doesn't, as you know, it doesn't happen. Well, at least for me, I do. I have to give, her dad gives her his last bite. I give her my last bite. I'm like, because that is a part that changes you. You want them to have everything.
I'm sorry, baby. It's spicy. Especially when we get to the last bite. I don't know what happened. All the spices just ran to the end of the last bite because... I'm sorry, baby. It's spicy. Yeah, that's how I know I don't already have kids.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah, since we know each other, please don't.
I'm not, because...
But, it also, too, if you do want some, or you are considering ever in life, then you also might want to look into, I don't know, freezing your eggs, things like that.
Because I'm getting up there in age.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, a lot of those, when it's geriatric, that's anything over 35. And I was 38 when I had her.
In case there's any men listening, I'm not 35 yet.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to laugh in the mic.
It's not a geriatric pregnancy. We got a few years, baby. It's not a geriatric pregnancy yet. So, what is one of your biggest regrets?
One of my biggest regrets is...
This already sound rehearsed.
No, I never... Actually, I have so many. You said one. So, I'm just trying to choose... I'm trying to choose one. I'm not... It's not going away to school. To Spelman in particular. I did try to submit an application, but I was already into my early 20s at that point. And so... When I see all the, I used to read novels on sorority sisters, different things like that. And I'm like, oh, that seems pretty interesting. But the level of shyness that I wasn't going to do any of that. But it was still nice to think about that. And then just kind of, I wasn't really raised in an overtly pro-black household. So I didn't really have anything that said, oh, go to an HBCU kind of thing. But I did want to go to Spelman. So I guess in my own mind, and then just kind of, under just, my brother-in-law and just kind of that influence. So yeah, so my biggest regret is going away and leaving California and going more to a more culturally immerse in more culture down south or on the East Coast that I can think of. One of many, because I have a few.
You know what's crazy though?
What?
That's one of my biggest regrets too.
Really?
Yeah.
And especially, you were like a TV... You should have jumped into the TV screen. So you watched A Different World. And so did I. But I just I watch different things. But I've always been a deep thinker. And I was always looking at society as a whole and what are they trying to say. And I get a lot of the positive things that, Black culture were trying to do. But then some of that stuff, like I never watched School Days. I never watched that kind of stuff because I didn't like that other message that it had. But... back to that, I do remember you watching a lot of Different World, so that kind of could give you a little fever.
Yeah, I don't think I watched School Days, but
Yeah,
I
you're
did
not
watch
missing anything, I'm sure.
I did watch the other Spike Lee joint. Is School Days even a Spike Lee joint?
You watched Crooklyn.
First off, I loved Crooklyn.
That's what I'm saying.
I loved Crooklyn.
I did too.
Down. Okay, loved me some Crooklyn. It was at a school. I remember that. And I think it had, was it School Days? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Hold on, because this is gonna bother me. You know what movie it was?
No.
Coolie High.
Yeah, I didn't watch that either.
No.
I could see that. I could see you wanting to go off and be amongst your people, our people.
Yeah, that's not my only regret.
I was gonna say that is not your only regret, but
oh, she's shady. No, that's not my only regret, but that is a regret of mine. You said that you went to school for teaching, right? Something about your CBAS.
the CBAS is just the California Basic Standard Test. That's something that you can take if you want to substitute teach for K through 12. The credential program, that's the major one where you actually, take off of work, do your student teaching. I did a variation of that because, as I mentioned, the 22 years working for the city. I even studied abroad for 3 units. I went to Spain. So yes, Spanish as a second language is something that I was interested in. I was actually interested in it to learn at least 4 or 5 other languages. But
they got Duolingo now.
They have what?
Duolingo. That's not an ad.
What is that?
That's not an ad because I'm not getting paid to promote this. But Duolingo is a little app you download and it'll teach you a different language.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I used to read actually your dad's Swahili books when I was younger, and then that's kind of when I started thinking like, wait a minute, we do not have any African languages in school. I did start off with Spanish, yeah, but I wanted to learn Swahili, Italian, those 3 for sure, and then because I was already in those other languages, I think Portuguese was in there. But shout out to my uncle. My brother-in-law, actually.
Yeah,
he's not even my
who's your uncle?
But he was actually, like a second dad to me. So taught me a lot that I wasn't learning in my own home about just being black, loving black. I saw my first, I think remember that calendar he had of some of the different African women? And I'm like, oh, they're so beautiful. That's where I learned my, loving myself as a black person from my brother-in-law.
No, because the calendar was there when you were...
I was young.
Okay, and...
Oh, you're younger than I am. Sorry.
Do you still feel like you have to look your best for your husband?
I'm going to get your producer.
Yeah, because I can answer this question for y'all if y'all want me to.
What? Really, Bree?
But you can go ahead and answer that.
And that's funny too, because even upon getting dressed, I said, you know what, I need to do better. I have no style. I used to wear my pencil skirts, button-up shirts. I used to, yeah.
Let me tell y'all, she used to be a dime back in the day, okay?
I gained a good almost 40 pounds, so I think it's more me. But yeah, you're right. I used to be cute. I know, I can admit that. I don't know what happened to me. So going back, I'm one of those because I was single for so long that, I always just wanted to look up for myself. I do feel like I'm slacking on the marriage thing and not really fixing myself up, but I don't know. I'll get back there though. So shoot, I feel like I need to look up for myself, and then and then he will definitely benefit from that. So, but it's not just specifically for him. No, I don't feel like that's why I would do it. Like, I take my makeup off at night. I don't, do a lot of stuff on purpose because I don't want to be someone that I'm not, especially for someone else. So.
That song by Mario where he be like, you're a dime plus 99. A dime plus 99, ladies and gentlemen. She did used to be a dime plus 99. That was just like the dime. Drop the
I am not the same. Like I said, the 40 pounds definitely changes things. I got the double chin, big arms already running my family. So yeah.
Everybody worried about her 40 pounds. These little big arms she talking about. You know how like when you slap somebody under the arm and it jiggle? That's a big arm. You don't have one of those. You don't have one of those. They've been in the kitchen cooking. That's what they mean by big arm, and that's not what you serving. So,
but no, I really do.
You got big arms.
Yeah, I can see how between marriage and a baby and your careers, and yeah, I could definitely see how things could change. That time that you once had, you don't have it the same unless you get up at the crack of dawn. Before everybody. And usually if I do that, then I'm usually working or, doing my budget or something like that. I'm not up getting myself together. People do it. More power to them. I can't do it. I'm tired.
You said you got your license to substitute teach.
That's kind of really the only loose end I have in life as far as school goes. And I might do the substitute teaching just to see if I want to go into teaching, because I had fun when I did it, when I did student teach. And even when I was on my interview for the city, that's what I told them. I'm like, well, I won't be here in 5 years, 22 years later.
And look at you 22 years later.
Oh, my goodness. But, yeah. And, it's a nice job.
Because I wouldn't have even hired you, as you said.
I said that. That's how I felt. I was only 21 at the time. I was just speaking my truth.
I wouldn't have hired you.
Anyway, why am I listening to you?
Because what? You listening to me because I'm over here building my business, okay? So you went from substitute teaching to real estate.
Oh, no. Unfortunately, actually, I never did the substitute teaching. I just did the student teaching where you're under a master teacher. But I've always done the city job. And then the real estate, I actually got my license back starting in 2016, but I got my license in 2017. I didn't start using it until a little after COVID, when it was renewal time. So I was able to renew it, fill out my collateral employment, so I do it part-time, and yeah, so and it's actually been going pretty well for me.
So you've been focusing more so on your real estate or on your teaching?
I'm more on the real estate. It was something that I've always, wanted to do anyway. I've always believed in home ownership and all of that, and I've had a lot of different, my own stories of how that went and how it didn't go. So property ownership has always been something that I would think about. So getting into real estate, it wasn't that, even though it was difficult passing that exam, but it wasn't that difficult of a concept. And then, yeah, so I felt good about it. And then it's been really rewarding, so that's even better. And I've been able to help other people and hopefully down the line help myself. And so, yeah, it was not an issue. And plus it was during COVID. So after I finished my primary job, it was a lot of time. We all had a lot of time on our hands, so.
COVID was a good time.
It was.
I wish we can get shut back down again.
What?
I'm very vocal about that. I wish we could get shut down again.
I don't know. It really hurt a lot of people. I lost a lot of good friendships and stuff during and because of COVID conversations or just the atmosphere altogether. So COVID really, I don't know. It had some good things about it, but
then wasn't your friends there?
No, they really were.
They wasn't, because I ain't lost no friend during COVID.
Really?
For one, I rarely come out the house anyway. So COVID wasn't really a big shell shock for my friends. But for two, no. We understand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna understand why you don't come out if I invite you and they say that the band is off, but the band probably ain't off yet. I'm gonna understand why you don't come out. Or I'm gonna understand why you don't text back.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like, oh, we're not going anywhere. It wasn't that. It was just, and I lost my best friend during COVID too. So, and then just not being able to see her at the hospital.
Oh yeah, that was
so
different.
Just stuff. Yeah, it was just bad. And we've been best friends since we were 15. Since I was 15, and she was 15.
She don't count.
What? But I lost her during
I'm
COVID.
talking about as.
No, but I'm saying with the not being able to see, she, you couldn't go visit her. She lived with elderly parents, like that.
What I mean by she didn't count as, she didn't count as one of those ones who I said was not your friend to begin with.
Oh no, but I just meant COVID as a whole. And a lot of people passed, and a lot of people got sick, and all of that. So it's dumb all around.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate to those people, but for me, I had a ball.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's why I've always tried to have the most agency over my body and myself. So I wanted to work from home before COVID. So I don't look at it like I had to have COVID to do that. I was really trying. You could see like the notes from work. I was just one of those. So going into my own business, going back to my real estate or substitute teaching, things that I can choose when I want to go in or when I want to do it and still make money. So
what's one thing you could change about your marriage? Don't look at the time. I got this. I'm watching it. I'm watching the clock. We got questions.
One thing that I wish that I could change, I guess it would be going out more. I think that would be something that I wish I could change and do more of. Because a lot happens when you go out. You have fun, all that, and then you're doing things that you're interested in. So when you don't do that, then it creates a lot of time where you're just kind of dedicated to the baby only, or they're doing what he's doing what he wants to do, and then I'm kind of doing my networking and mixers, and so just spending more time together. I think it kind of probably would have helped keep a stronger bond. So doing things that the other person liked, even if you don't want to do it, just doing things together. Because it's really easy to drift apart when you don't do things together.
I'm taking notes, I ain't never, I ain't never had a boo. I ain't never in a relationship. My little 75% delusional. I don't have no exes, so I'm taking.
You don't have what?
I don't have no exes.
Ooh, so that's that 25% or the 75% delusion.
This is 75%.
Okay. Just so that we're clear. Okay.
That's a 75% delusion.
Oh my God.
But really,
how you gonna bring me on this podcast and I'm telling the truth?
I'm telling the truth too. I don't have no exes.
Okay. Well, you know what? Honest, that's possible. I get in trouble a lot because it's, your ex. No, that wasn't my ex. But people have their own definition of what an ex is, and I'm like, well, and I have my own. Yeah. That ain't it. So I know what you mean.
I got my own definition, and my definitions are I ain't got no ex.
and you know what? You are free to define that. You are definitely free to define that.
So my little 75% got me feeling like who gonna check? So what is one of your secrets to happiness?
I don't know. I guess being an introvert, I do. As much time as I can by myself, I do that. But that includes nature. Like I said, I love the beach. I love the water. I like to write. So I don't know. I feel like just doing things that I enjoy are kind of like a secret for me, or just kind of secret to my happiness. Having faith in something is a big one, because in those times where you don't have faith, you kind of always have that constant. So that is one of the reasons why I did dedicate my life back in 2013, and I found that I've been pretty happy since, even though there are a lot of different things that have occurred, but that's been the one constant.
That's good. I struggle with my spirituality.
I think when you have it become more spirituality than religion per se, for myself, I think that's a lot easier, and then just faith, just faith in something, that something is going to be different than what man is offering. So
I think I struggle more so with religion than I do with my spirituality.
And a lot of people do. I did too. I did too.
I think I struggle with religion because I think my spirituality is fine. I think I have faith. Especially when things are tough, I know like that's when my faith kicks in. And
so I do believe in that kind of stuff, and I would say that that's been my one consistent faith. But I do like to do stuff. I love to eat. So all those little hobbies and eating and all that kind of stuff keeps me happy too.
Did you save yourself till marriage?
I'm going to kick your producers. And it's so weird because I have not even a funny story about that, but Yeah, when I was a young teenager, or I left the faith, I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do this.
I used to be like that.
Yeah,
too.
and then I had this one family member, and I actually remember asking her, and I'm like, because at the time, of course, I'm starting to talk to boys and all that, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like 20 and above.
Yeah, I knew
it wasn't.
I knew
No. I can't. I couldn't go out like that. But I did. I asked her, and I said that I'm like, well, should I wait until I get married? Trust me, and it was no marriage in the works in the horizon. But yeah, I thought, and then she was like, "Oh no, you got to test it out." And I was just like, "Oh my God!" But I really remember that. And,
that was some of the best advice you got.
Worldly, yes, I will say that. Yeah, no, actually, I don't know because those are those different growing pains that certain things you probably wish you could have avoided, but it wasn't.
Your whole days.
Huh?
Your whole days.
Really, Bree?
I think everybody has their whole days. I think everybody should have their whole days, especially before they get married.
That's the difference. Hey, I can't even say that.
So look, I think everybody has their own definition of hoe.
Okay, well then that's
that's why I say your whole days, because only you can define what's your definition of hoe. So only you can define what your definition of your whole days are.
Well, but I thought that, and I'm big on words and etymology and all that, so I thought there's a definition of it.
No.
So no, there isn't.
No,
there isn't.
No.
Okay, well,
it's 2023. There's no definition of hoe.
No.
And on top of there's no definition of hoe.
First of all, that's a slang, very flowery past, and just learning, and probably wasting time in the same breath.
It's okay to say whole days.
I don't even say that word.
Jasmine Sullivan made a whole album.
Yeah, and you're a fan, and I'm not. I think I like maybe one or two songs of hers.
Off the album, or
did she sing Lions and Tigers and Bears?
Oh, you talking about the whole category, but yeah.
Oh, it's not to say that I don't believe in sensuality and all of that. There's nothing wrong too with being discreet. I mean, I don't really feel like everything has to be on display and all of that. So.
Yeah, I'm very envious of girls who live life unapologetically, like city girl type.
I don't know. I'm not actually.
I am.
On the flip side, yeah, you're right about that because you're free and all of that. But I don't know. I really feel like they also have things that they go through. I'm sorry, I just don't.
I believe everybody has things they go through.
Yeah, but
no, I'm a firm believer in everything in everybody's business. But at the same time, I do like. Women.
I mean, it's one thing to not be. I don't want to be fake about it. I don't want to live a double life in that sense. Like, so that's different than just being discreet and being modest for yourself.
Yeah,
that has nothing
that's
to do
different.
with other people.
That's
different.
You
just,
But that's not what I'm talking about. I could live discreetly. I could live probably not modestly. I'm not a modest person, but I could live discreetly, non-double life-ish, but I still envy girls who can live unapologetically as well.
Yeah, I do, but not in the sexual sense. Those who you don't worry about what people are thinking or what they're saying, or but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, as an overall, I envy people who live unapologetically overall.
Now, for me, it's easier to go through life being less envious as possible. But I know it doesn't mean that it's a over,
Yeah, because I mean there are obviously all things we're scared of judgment about, but those people who live unapologetically, live like
I know.
I'm not scared of no judgment, and I love that for them.
You're right. I'm not really too big on social media. I do have, like I said, an account, and I listen to other podcasts. But I do see the other things. Just what I've been seeing, they've been living unapologetically, doing in all facets. And then their world comes crashing down because
I'm gonna say like Doja Cat. I don't know if you.
I know her, but I don't know anything that she does.
I don't follow her on social media or anything. I only see her like on the blogs. My point is, she basically denounced all her fans and was like, basically, you like me for me, you like me for me. If you like me for my industry, then you don't really like me for me, and that's cool. It ruffled a lot of feathers.
I mean, but people change. Things change. They have their reasons. I feel like we're allowed to change. It's just when you get into the entertainers and all that, where they're doing stuff for money, you know, they have their own struggle with that. And that's why I don't really delve too deep into other people's lives, because I really feel like they're struggling with a lot of stuff.
The host of the No Dress Code podcast, she now has to come out of her shell and come out of her home to experience life so that we have experiences for this podcast.
Wow. Yeah, and this is actually big for me because I envision being on a real estate podcast, or, you know, I've had some pretty big, you know, deals, and take me out of my comfort zone. That's what I was trying to say. It was definitely going to be something that took me out of my comfort zone.
And you know what?
Just like this.
That's important. I think my first episode, I think it was like, well, not the first episode, but the first recording I put out. It was If I Was to Die. And that, I know, the second guest to be on that has not listened to an episode of the No Dress Code.
I didn't. I started the one where you talked about therapy, and then I had listened to the beginning.
It's all good. The second guest who has come onto this podcast and has not listened to an episode, I would feel away, but it's okay. I'm going to let it slide.
I wanted to see what you were talking about anyway. I'm like, where am I getting myself into? Because mind you didn't give me any questions ahead of time or anything.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Well,
I need it as authentic as possible. But also, I feel like getting out of your comfort zone is a good thing. This podcast is out of my comfort zone.
Mine too. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So getting out of your comfort zone is a good thing.
But mine is like, where does it land? That's my thing. Like, I can get out of my comfort zone, but this is like cyberspace. I'm one of those. I've never even taken any pictures because of cyberspace. I'm like, I've been watching, what is one of my favorite movies with the Will Smith in it? This is like
Enemy of the State.
That was one of my favorite movies. And I paid attention. So I was like, okay. It's a lot of satellites out there. There's a lot of things out there.
You know what? I will say that is partially why I don't do AI too much. Other than Siri, I don't do AI.
Yeah, it's certain things I shy away from, but just because of that reason, not because I don't like to talk or, you know, transparency or.
I mean, I know it's crazy, but yeah, but we can't live our life in fear.
Yeah, that's true. Especially, you know, things you want to say.
Yeah, because I've been living my life in fear for a while.
Yeah, I can see that.
I let anxiety and fear take over.
Yeah, versus just doing it. Like
Nike, they got it right. Just do it.
Yeah, they sure did.
That's not an ad either. I'm not getting paid to say that.
All I'm saying.
But
maybe one day.
They should. As much as I done spent on them just to look cute at the gym.
Yeah, I see your pants right now.
Yeah, girl. I bought one for the gym and I bought one for outside the gym because I didn't want to mix them up. Okay, what is the hardest part of marriage?
Just people's interpretation of what they envision marriage to be. So basically, two people coming together, for me, is the hardest part, because you have two different ideals, culture. Even if you could be the same, you know, race, I'm not talking even about that, but what they envision and what you envision. And he did get on me about that too, about, you know, the few things that he does ask for, and I can't even deliver. I'm not a cooker, so, you know, I guess I'm not cooking every night.
How many nights a week are you cooking?
Lately, it's been really low. On a good week, when things were really good, I would say minimum 3 to 4, minimum. Because I reserved like Friday for pizza. He was like, Friday for pizza? What does that mean? So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
That's cute when
Friday
you're a
and
child.
Saturday. Huh?
That's cute when you're a child.
What, pizza on Fridays?
Yeah.
But I feel like if we're both working all week, and then here I myself picked up a second career, like a little that things are a little different. But yeah, the hardest part is just, you know, what people's expectations are versus the reality that we're in. So I guess I would say that's the hardest. Everything else can be worked out, but when that's not right, it's just a rocky foundation.
Well, let me tell you, that second job, that's gonna be temporary, because what they say you work your 9 to 5 Monday through Friday or something like that, and on Saturday, on the weekends, you build your dream,
and that will work for you because you don't have any children. and you're not married.
You're right.
You're right. So no, I do. I work in the city.
So,
I pour 100% into that, but then that still takes up 9 hours of my day, 5 days a week, sometimes 4. And then I do. I do the real estate in the evenings and weekends, and then in my case, I find that I have to pay extra so that I can service my clients the proper way. So I should be on the beach somewhere anyway. Really,
girl, who you telling?
That's kind of.
I'm saying. I feel like Jesus did not die on the cross and pay for everything already, just for me to have to come back and pay for it again.
Free. But I hear you. I along that same vein, I definitely hear you that, and then even just in this market with these inflated prices and the interest rates, and it's just a lot of things that really aren't, to me, making sense. And we just, kind of are in it, and you do your best to navigate and try to be as happy as you can. But, some of this stuff is not in our control. And that's the part that bothers me the most, because I do like to be in control. But, so really, ideally I would like to cook. I do like to make, meals from scratch and feed the baby, because, she has to eat too. So, I guess I could do better in those areas.
I do just want to shout out and just advise again to my man who could be listening, to my future man who could be listening, that I do not have kids.
Wow.
That I am not married. You never know. You gotta shoot your shot the way you shoot your shot. Okay.
Yeah. Hey.
So I'm just manifesting that my man is out there and he gonna come find me. Included my Instagram handle at the end of this audio.
Okay, this is not.
You just come find me.
What do you have me on? What kind of podcast is this?
Do you believe in divorce?
Do you believe that there are grounds for divorce? Not that many, but I do believe in that there are grounds for divorce. Would I want it to be that way? No. So I feel like the commitment, we should always kind of keep that in the back of our minds, work toward that. But I do believe that there are grounds for divorce.
Now, I know your husband might be listening, but I didn't ask you if you felt like.
Oh, my bad.
I just asked you if you felt like.
In some cases, there are, I believe that there is room for it. Yes. So, yes, I do. I'm not one of those that, no, I do not believe in divorce. So I can say that.
Okay, what's your rules, or what's your
well, I would have more, but because I follow a certain faith and standard, it's 2: adultery and death. Those are the 2. So one you have no control over, the other one you do, and
technically you have no control over either one of them.
No, I meant the other person, the act of someone dying or he or she dying. They don't have control over that. He or she making the decision to do something, they have control over that. And you have control whether or not you want to leave. So that's you. Ultimately, you still have control. I didn't mean to say no control, but death, no one has control over that. So, so I do. So basically that one standard, because I really would hate for people to have to die. But, yes, adultery for sure.
Okay, so if you weren't of your faith, what would be your reasons for divorce?
Oh, abuse, verbal, physical. I mean, just like, I feel like if you're doing all that, then maybe you shouldn't be together. So, if I wasn't of the faith, then yes, definitely I would have a few reasons anyway. But I'm not the best person actually to be able to answer that, because, although I do love my spouse, we're not of the same faith. It's a little bit more difficult, but it doesn't mean that we can't still love each other and raise our family and be happy within our home.
But it means what? You guys are unequally yoked, so to speak?
Yes, that's what that means, yes. The value system is a little different. And so the things that we do value, we have those common, we
You know what? As I got older, I realized that certain things just click.
Exactly. It's like you have this epiphany, like, oh, that's what that means. Because it's one thing to be told it. Oh, well, this is, and then it's another thing to live it, and then like, oh, That's what that means.
Like a hard head make a soft bottom.
Well, I had all those sayings growing up, so you don't believe fat meat is crazy. I had all of them. My mom said them all, so I learned really quickly.
So was it love at first sight for you and your spouse?
No. He says it was for him. That goes back to that other meeting that we had in 2013.
And let me tell you, my man better feel like it's love at first sight for him too when he sees me.
Well, yeah. So at least it was for one party.
Yes.
And mine, really, I will say that it was definitely an intrigue there. And plus, but he was with someone at that party, so it wasn't like I could, I wasn't all up in somebody else's face. Mm-hmm. But there was like, kind of where you turn your head to the side. But that's as far as that went. So, yeah. For him, according to him and according to his family, he said that he thought I was going to come back into the facility, but I didn't. I went home. And so he never saw me for the next almost 3 years. But he remembered everything I had on, hair, everything. So,
yeah, my man, it better be love at first sight for him too.
But then that also, too, it becomes this, weird thing in a marriage because people feel like, well, I love you more, and I'm like, that's not what that means.
And you better
no
that's how you protect yourself from getting hurt. The other person gotta love you just a little bit more.
That you still want them to feel like they're loved and that you love them, and it just comes at a different time. And I think you have to be mature enough to know that, and not everybody is mature to know that. I just feel like love hits at different times for different reasons.
First off, just love me a little bit more than I love you. This is all I'm saying, because
but that takes the beauty away from it. Sometimes
why would I want to love you more than you love me?
Because first of all, you can't measure love. You can measure actions. You can measure things people say to you, how they make you feel, whether they give you butterflies, different. But you can't. Love comes in a lot of different forms.
Theoretically, I want you to love me a little bit more than I love you.
Theoretically and realistically, I don't want you to bring up anything during the duration of our marriage that causes dissension by you thinking you love me more or I love you more. I don't want any of that, any parts of it.
Yeah, I think when you love me more, you're less likely to cheat on me because you love me more. You really
believe that?
I said,
the probability of it.
Yeah, it's less likely because you love me more. If I love you more, then I feel like you might cheat on me. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be like in the back of my mind that you're gonna cheat on me, but if somebody came to me and was like, your man cheating on you, then baby, I wouldn't necessarily just immediately write it off because I love you more. You always tell who loves who more in the relationship.
I really believe in love languages. I believe in that. And I think a lot of that, when the couples don't take the time out to see what the other person's love language is.
And I say, hey, out of these 5 love languages, I really answer well to 3 of them, right? You don't take the time to do those 3, but I figure out what your love languages are by just getting to know you. And we already know who loves who more.
Wow, really?
I love you more. I definitely did the research to figure out what your love languages were. I actively put that to practice. If I had to tell you my love languages were and you still don't put that to practice, but I ain't never had a relationship.
But then we have the way that we want to express love. And then that person might not want to receive it because they feel like, well, I don't want to receive it that way. I want it the way that I want it. You're never going to get anywhere, I feel, as a couple.
You do have to adjust.
Yeah, but
if the way that I show love isn't necessarily the way that you receive love or that you feel loved, then I need to adjust.
But not everybody's going to adjust. And I think that's where the problem comes in.
Yeah, so if you don't love me a little bit more than I love you, you don't want to adjust. It's like, what's the benefit of adjusting? I might be 75% delusional, but I need my man to love me a little bit more than I love him.
I don't know. I just kind of think that comes from past on exes and trauma. I just feel differently about it. And when it comes to love and relationships, I never was really good at it. Really, honestly, though, I will say that I didn't know that having a baby would really mess with your memory. Like that was something I'm like, oh, people are just talking. 6 months after I had Serenity, I had a job interview for another department, and I couldn't even remember what I was doing in my life. And I'm like, how do I not know the name of this organization? Like, I really looked like I was a fraud at that point because I really could not remember. And it happens quite often, but I'm not blaming it all on my baby.
You did fraud?
Fraud, like taxes and different things like that.
Like you just said, you felt like a fraud when you was doing your interview. Like you ever?
No, I said I didn't want them to perceive that. Like, I really volunteered. I really did a lot of things, but I literally legit could not remember the names of the organizations that I volunteered with. And I'm so... No, as far as like being someone or something that I'm not, no, I've never really had to do that. I'm still actually working my way up the ladder. There are things that I definitely feel like it's taken me a long time to do. And so I do get distracted easily. But no, as far as like just being this complete fraud, no. I loved school. I love learning. If I could, just go to school, I would probably do that without, getting paid. But no.
That's funny because you won't go to school for me without getting paid.
I have written, don't even try it.
I'm
Go to
just
some of her
saying.
professors. I have written essays.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I love, and I really hope actually soon in the near future I can go back.
Well, don't worry.
That and I want to party. I need a new certificate. I need a new degree. I need something to celebrate. I am trying to learn how to focus on myself. And then now I have this little one, so now she's the focus, and I just got to get in where I fit in.
Okay, so we have a few more questions for you.
Dang. Okay.
So are there icks about your husband?
You said icks or its? What is that?
Icks. Icks.
You stumped me now. That sounds like a fish. Ichthyology. No, you stumped me. I don't know what that word means. Idiosyncrasies, like things that I don't like, or I don't know what that word means.
Oh, wow.
I don't.
Is that what icks is short for? I guess it must be because I ain't never heard. I mean, I've heard of idiosyncrasies. Don't.
Like different little
That
quirks
trying to
and
make
things.
me seem like I'm slow. But that exact thing.
I don't know. He has this thing with water bottles. I'm like, do you have to collect them all on the side of the bed? That's one of the main ones. And I guess because when I'm cleaning up the room, I'm like,
No, I feel that though.
why are there 4 water bottles under the bed?
You must not be a water drinker then.
I have 1 or 2 on the side of the bed that I actually put away. So it's not that I do drink water, but I guess it's always room for more water. But yeah, he'll just drink a whole bunch. But why do you have to leave them?
Yeah, you might not be a water drinker then. I have a whole at my desk when I'm at work, I have like 4 bottles of water. And then on top of that, I have a whole bag full of empty just water bottles.
That's crazy. But his car is the same way.
Yeah, mine's was
It's
too.
like, where's on the back seat? I'm like, you just drink them and throw them in the back?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then you need to get a plastic bag.
Shout out to my brother for washing my car.
Wow.
Because it definitely was like that. They was thrown from the front seat to the back seat. I drink water. Like, that's literally all I drink. Well, for the most part, that's all I drink. So,
yeah. So
when you're a water
fortunately,
drinker, that's what happens.
yeah, fortunately, it's not too many things. I know that sometimes when you live with people, all kinds of things are exposed. But we didn't really have that where it's like, oh my goodness, who is this person? No, it really, just kind of that. And, leaving the bathroom door open. I'm like, excuse me, close the door, lock it. So then it was like, why are you locking the door? Because that's what I do. I'm in here right now. So just things like that. So that's what I said. Like, people grew up doing different things. And when you get together, they want you to kind of conform or assimilate or something. I'm like, no, just certain things I do draw the line on. So when I go in the restroom, the door gets closed and locked.
I don't do that.
Leave the door open?
I don't lock it.
I mean, I do.
I might close
Because
it.
I don't like, because he will walk in and I have to tell him, like, you can't just walk in. So, no.
Well, mostly my mama. She just walks in too.
See, my mom didn't do that. So, I don't know. I don't have anything that's kind of, I'm looking like, why do you have to do that? No, I don't know.
wonder what your husband would say about you. Your icks are.
I know. That would be interesting.
Let's get to your business. Now, you do real estate. How long have you been doing that?
Officially since 2021. Yeah, I renewed it 4 years, and 2021 made my renewal.
That's
Yeah, I got my license in 2017. I didn't pay any broker fees, so I wasn't practicing. I wasn't under a broker.
Are there any tips that you can provide anybody who wants to own a home?
Make sure that you are making as much money as you can on your, whether it's your business or your job. You want to make sure that your credit is intact at all times. And it's one of those where you don't want to get overly obsessed with your credit, but it does, once you get it to a certain level, you need to make sure that you definitely keep it there.
At what level are we talking about?
7 and above.
I remember at one point it was like 620 or something like that.
I mean, people are still buying homes at 640, 680. Like, so I'm sure there are lenders out there that on all levels, but for comfortability, I would say keep it as high as you can. The highest credit score is what, 850 now? Yeah,
I thought it was 900.
I thought so too, but when I looked on Experian, it said 850. But I'm not disclaimer. I'm not, and I don't officially work with credit. I don't really know about it. I just know to keep your score up.
I think it stops at like 850, but it goes to 900.
Yeah, and if you can try to get to that exclusive club, that would be even better.
Any more tips?
Save your money. Put yourself on a budget even before you get your property. Budgets it's a wise thing to do. A lot of people shy away from them because then you have to kind of face every month. Sometimes your expenses are higher than your income, but a lot of the times that's why we have the gig economy. There are ways to make money doing other things that you can add to your pot. So you always want to get creative on that, because it's different from going from rent to a mortgage.
What else can you provide? Let's see. As far as your business goes.
Well, with mine, because I am fairly new, 2017, 2021, those are new numbers for a real estate agent. But I've been pretty successful because I've been able to be around other successful people. So, education is important. They offer a lot of first-time homebuyer classes, just classes if you choose to become a real estate agent. There's a lot of room for growth. So, yeah, just really surrounding yourself with people who know more than you do. That is a real thing. And, finding your kind, really, because everybody is not for you. I can say that, too. But, fortunately, I didn't kind of come out totally unscathed, but, hey, you live and you learn, and then you just learn how to move differently. But yeah, there are a lot of programs and different things available for people who are really looking to purchase. So
what are we doing with real estate? Where do we see this going? Are we gonna stay as a real estate agent, broker, investor? Like, where do you see yourself going as far as real estate is concerned?
I have a small team, an ad hoc team outside of my brokerage that we get together. There's a lot of responsibility with it, but yeah, ultimately, definitely, if I'm going to stay in real estate, I would want by next year, even putting a time frame on it, studying for it, passing the exam to become a broker. And it's not even just always about receiving all of the commission, even though that is a perk. When you own your own business, you really want to own your own business. So you want to be able to do things the way you want, brand how you want, that kind of thing. So becoming a broker as a real estate agent is really literally owning your own business from top to bottom.
Okay, so the goal for you next is brokerage. Or broker.
Yes, even if it's a small boutique brokerage, something where I can study for the exam and take the test myself.
How does the licensing go?
You are licensed by state. And if you're a broker, you can get your broker's license in each state, and then you're free to, broker deals. But if you have a license in California, you can get like a referral fee, other little things, but you can't basically broker a whole deal out of another state because it's a different jurisdiction. So I do have other connections in other states, other brokerages, people who want to move out of state, or so there are a lot of resources, and it's just kind of making those connections. Throw me no curveball.
I'm not. I'm trying to help you. I see a lot of people on Instagram are like real estate moguls and stuff. Said that you are not active on social media. Is that going to change?
Yes, it definitely will change. That is something that, I was looking to do. I was looking to rebrand, and it's kind of hard because sometimes it's like, oh, I want to post where I went, and then, so maybe I do need to separate my accounts and then kind of just have one for my business and one for my personal. Because, sometimes I do want to post my baby or where we've gone. We go a lot of places. I do a lot of things. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I want my family to see, my family out of state to see and all that. But I just don't post it. I just too shy. But it's a hindrance. But I will change it. But yeah, so I am looking to change that aspect of it. I do need to get out there.
Let me tell you, for somebody who has more than one Instagram account, it is not easy.
It isn't, huh?
It is
See, and
not
I like simplicity.
easy.
All this technology, it's beneficial and it seems fun, but give me a magazine and a book.
Please have a team when it comes to having more than one social media account. Please have a team.
Yeah, I was actually going to pay a tech guy. He was going to help me facilitate that, so I might look into speaking back with him.
But for the most part, all my pages they all show different sides of me.
And that's good. I guess I'm really not that interesting. At least I think I'm not that interesting, so I don't really, But the times I have posted, I got pretty good feedback. And then there are a lot of like I just got back from Chicago and I had so much fun. But I also got conjunctivitis, so my pictures look crazy. So I didn't post them. But still, as all those tall buildings of food, I might post it now.
You should.
Yeah, I might post it.
You should post it anyway.
Exactly. I just feel like I'm the type of person who over explains, because I literally was going to post the picture and say, oh, but I had pink eye, I had conjunctivitis.
And I'm going to tell you, we don't care about none of that.
I know, that's the thing. People don't care about that.
We don't care about none of that.
Maybe I shouldn't worry about what people care about.
Some people will, but the majority of us, we don't care about none of that.
What's wrong with her?
We just looking at the picture and keeping it pushing. I'm going to need y'all to engage on these posts. I
understand. Sometimes, like I listen to a lot of podcasts, and sometimes I'm really feeling something.
Yeah, you can't be letting people discourage you.
I know. I need to stop doing that. Subscribe. Even if it's for them. And then this one podcaster that I listened to, she said, I engage, and I'm like, that's nice.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all know. Go ahead and engage on this episode. We have Instagram. We have the comment section of the Apple Podcast as well as Spotify. We even got the YouTube comment section. Go ahead and just engage on this. Yeah, don't let a hater stop you from engaging. So just go ahead and engage, because.
And that's like back to what you said, like, life is really short, and it can be beautiful, but it is short. So why not do the fun things that you always wanted to do? Or
we all have things that we have to answer for. You're gonna leave this earth one day anyway. Might as well do the most of what you can.
And oral history, yeah, that's one thing I do. I honestly do regret not recording my mom, but she was like me. She really wasn't into being recorded, and I didn't record her. And so that's something that I do think about. I'm like, oh, wow, at least I could have seen and heard her voice. But so now I'm like, maybe Serenity can hear her mom.
Yeah, I think that's a thing for me too, as far as like this podcast goes. Proving I was here.
Yeah, just leaving your mark, because we were here and we are here. And
so at least my kids one day will have these podcast episodes and be like, Mommy was here one day. Mind you, I still don't have no kids, y'all. To my man who could be my man, who could be listening to this podcast, this is just speaking into existence, baby. I'm just manifesting. I don't have kids right now.
Nothing wrong with that. Families are beautiful. You get to create them. That was another thing. I'm like, I get to create my own family, or we get to create it. So
I always wanted a mini me. Uncle Mac used to ask me if I wanted kids, and I'd be like, yeah, I want a mini me.
Really? See, I was one of those. I had all those other hang-ups. I'm like, I don't want my kid to have a big old head like me.
It's big, y'all. I'm not going to sit here and lie.
Oh, wow.
I'm post a picture of Tweety Bird in the comments, so y'all know I'm talking.
Well, that was my nickname. And for a while, I hated it so bad. I hated it so much. But after a while, I got used to it.
Yeah, as far as like promo goes for this episode, y'all, it's gonna be a little late, because as she said earlier, she didn't feel up to it. So there's no like visual promo with her right now, but it will come later. I'll upload some pictures later.
I wish it could have been more exciting. I'm really not that interesting, and I don't have a stage presence. I hated my drama class. I'm like, I don't like the way I sound on camera. But it's crazy because I used to want to be a sports broadcaster. So I really loved the game.
I bet you did love the game.
Hmm?
I bet you did love the game.
Shut up, girl.
So, is there any tips that you would give out to anybody right now?
Just save your money. If you get with a really good real estate agent, like myself and those around me,
Because girl, I was gonna say you better promote yourself.
No, I'm saying like there's a lot of things that are offered out here, and it's just a matter of us finding the right the right package for you or the right program if that's what you need, or even if you need tips on how to get there. Not everybody is there, so same for me. I'm still work in progress for certain things, so we haven't all arrived, but as long as you have good people around you that are going to help you along the way, that's the most important, that are going to take the time to do it. So really it's just starting, it's just doing it. It seems like a bigger feat, but if you've been paying rent for 20 years, it's the same thing. You know about commitment. Now you're just going to have commitment with a benefit. So just
come on, commitment with a benefit.
Oh, that's right, huh? Just reach out to me if you need anything. Instagram name is Crystal Allen Dway. That's KrystalAllenDweh. On there, you'll find my contact telephone number and I guess a few posts as well. Some that I haven't put on yet, but.
Yes, you better promote yourself. That's what I'm talking about. I will also leave your Instagram name tagged in the comments and the link. I'll include it in the link so that they can find you as well. I do want to say that I hope you guys had an amazing week. I hope you have continued to push through. I know that getting through your days are not easy, but if you can do it, I am so glad that you do. If nobody else appreciates you, I want to let you know that you are appreciated by me, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the No Dress Code Pod. That's all I got for you today. If you've listened this far, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you or talk to you in the next episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to rate this. Don't forget to tell your friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. And don't forget to follow me on all socials at No Dress Code Pod. I'm going to start being more active on it. So please follow No Dress Code Pod. Bye.